What is up, guys? Thank you for tuning in into another episode of the Shaman Mindset. Here's your host again, Patrick Shaun, and today I want to talk to you guys about the subject of anxiety and worry. This is a really important topic, in my opinion. This is something that I've struggled with a lot throughout my life. Anxiety is something that I've been struggling with. That's always some in the back of your mind, and it actually sticks a lot with the future point of view. Whenever you are worrying about something and whenever you have anxiety, you are actually pretending like you can know the future. And this is what I want to get into a little bit. So, my point is exactly with anxiety is every time you are experiencing anxiety and you are worrying, I understand the thought process in your head. You believe like, well, Patrick, if I don't worry, then I'm not really giving a shit about my problems. I'm not taking it seriously enough. I'm worrying because I care. But when you worry, you're pretending like your mind is actually going to solve a problem when it never is going to solve that problem. It's just running loops and loops and loops because it's an unsolvable problem. If there was a solution, you wouldn't have to think about it the whole time. The mind is not going to solve this problem because this problem cannot be solved on the level of the mind. Also, because in order to solve this problem, you would have to be able to look into the future and see what happens. For example, maybe you're worried about if you're going to have your job 6 months from now. Anything can happen in those 6 months. Yet your mind is going, well, what if I get fired for this? Or what if my boss actually doesn't like me like I think so? What if I'm not applying myself as much as I could? Blah, 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 blah. And it continues and it continues and it continues. In any situation like that, have you ever come to a point where you said, aha, I can stop worrying now. I figured it out. Somehow I doubt it. Somehow I doubt it. Now, to really illustrate my point here, I want to tell you a story. It's not my story. This is actually an ancient story that originates, I believe, somewhere in China. And it really the sum of all this story is that every time you're worrying, you're actually bullshitting yourself. You're convincing yourself that you can tell the future. So the story is about a Chinese farmer, right? And so it starts off. There's this very poor Chinese farmer. Um, he has one prized horse. That's his wealth right there. Back in the day, having an animal was wealth, right? And he had this one horse, and that was his only source of wealth. Uh, and one day, the horse breaks free from his backyard and runs off into the wilderness. So his wealth just ran off away. And then the local villagers, they come by to apologize, or not apologize, but pay their respects and pay their condolences. And they come over to the farmer and they say, oh, we heard about what happened, man. We're so sorry. This terrible misfortune has happened to you. And the farmer replies, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I don't know. And the villagers are like, okay, that was a strange response. And they leave. A few days pass. The farmer's horse ends up coming back, and in tow behind the farmer's horse are three more wonderful horses. And the farmer's horse brings him home. And so now the farmer went from one horse to none, and then now four horses. So his wealth has increased. And then the villagers, they come again, they go, wow, congratulations, what a great fortune this is to have come upon you. Such a great thing to see that your wealth has increased, and now you have four horses. You're one of the wealthiest in the village now. The farmer goes, could be good, could be bad. And the villagers are just baffled. They're like, what do you mean, could be good, could be bad? Your wealth increased. Is that not a good thing? And then a few more days pass again, and the farmer's son is in the backyard, and he's helping taming these new horses. They're wild horses. And one of the horses actually kicks his son, and his son falls down and terribly mangles his leg. He like breaks his leg. The villagers, they come by again. They go, "Oh, this is such a terrible misfortune. We're so sorry that your son has broken his leg. Who's going to help you with all of this work? What a terrible misfortune." Farmer again. Could be good, could be bad. Now the villagers are like, "Oh, sick of you, man. And I don't understand what you're talking about. You're crazy." And they leave. The next day, the local recruiting officer for the Chinese army comes to the village and starts picking out all the young men to join the army to go fight in the next siege. They go to the farmer's house and they see his son. And they see that his leg is terribly mangled. And they go, "Well, obviously you're no use to us." And they let him stay. And all the other young men in the village get drafted into the military. Think about that story. How can this apply to your real life? We don't know what's good. We don't know what's bad. Any result can happen. Maybe you get a promotion. It's something amazing to you. Could be bad too. Maybe on your way to work, you have an accident. That's maybe a little bit extreme, but you understand what I'm saying. Maybe you get fired from your job, but it leads you to finding your true passion, and you end up improving your life tenfold more than you could ever imagine. Maybe you miss your bus, and in that way you meet the love of your life while waiting for the next one, to make it a little less extreme. So that's what I mean when I say whenever you are experiencing anxiety, whenever you are worrying your head off, you're pretending like you know what's going to happen, but you really don't know. You don't know what's good. You don't know what's bad. So try to remember that story whenever you feel anxiety coming and you're pretending like you are a fortune teller and you can tell exactly what's going to happen in the next minutes or days or hours or weeks or years. We don't know enough to worry. So, having said that, I'll wrap up this episode. I hope this touched your heart. I hope this helps improve your day-to-day beingness. Thank you for listening, everybody. Signing off.